Hello and welcome to the Yellow Kimmie Show. Thanks for tuning in. I'm so glad that you could join me. First, before I forget, because I always do, please subscribe to my channel. Also click that little bell so you'll be notified every time I upload a video. And also I just want to say thank you to those who have already subscribed and watching the video. Thank you so much. Please remember to like, comment, and share it as well. Thank you so much. So what we're gonna be talking about today, if you have not heard as yet, the Supreme Court has lifted the restrictions, right, on religious gathering. So it was the Roman Catholic Church as well as the Orthodox Jewish groups. They did a legal group, brought this legal action before the court, and it was a win for them. And so yay, because some might consider this religious freedom. So the decision that was made was a 4-5 vote, right, which states that New York cannot put restrictions on religious gathering, right? So we already seen the effect of Amy Barrett being on the Supreme Court. She's very conservative, and we know that it would have been any decisions that the Supreme Court have to make dealing anything with any religious group, church, it would more so lean towards our favor. So it's a win. However, I would still cautious people, just because they lift the restriction, it doesn't mean that now we should all gather at the church. Listen guys, COVID-19 didn't go anywhere. We are still in a pandemic. Okay, there was a Jewish wedding and thousands of people gathered, right? And Mayor de Blasio was very upset, maybe not very upset, but he said it was irresponsible of them, right? So, and then they were fined $15,000. Now, finding that Jewish group $15,000 was not enough money. All right, that $15,000. That place was packed. I'm gonna put up a picture of the place. Look like an auditorium or some stadium, like where they have gathered. It's somewhere in Brooklyn, where they were, and I think they should have definitely fined them more than that. They should have been fined at least $50,000, right? And still, that is still low, okay? Because you cannot put a price on somebody's life. How are you gonna put a price on somebody's life? And those people have no consideration for their families, their friends, their community, because when they go home, they may feel fine, they may be asymptomatic, right? But then what happened to your grandmother? What happened to other family members that have other medical underlying issues, So it was very inconsiderate of them to have that wedding. I'm not saying that people should put their life on hold and don't have a wedding if you feel like you definitely need to get married during this COVID time, but have a small wedding. Listen guys, big weddings are overrated. It's really overrated. You could have a small wedding, immediate family, and you will save thousands of dollars. I promise you, you're gonna save money and you're saving lives. Okay, I have seen on the news more than one, more than two, I lost count at this point, where people had weddings and now they regret it because so much family members got sick and other of their guests got sick Why? Because two people wanted to say I do. All you need is a pastor, your witness, and yourself. Listen, afterwards you could have a big celebration after COVID-19. Maybe I'm betting on 2022, right? Because although they say that there's a vaccine, right? Who is gonna take this back? Well, there are people volunteering to take the vaccine, but majority of people are very skeptical still, right? If this vaccine is safe. And this just remind me, if you haven't watched my video about vaccine, I did it a long time ago, not very long, probably in the summer, but you should check out that video. Okay. What else I wanted to mention? Yes, so back to the Supreme Court and their decision. So it is good that, you know, as far as the church is concerned and for other religious group is concerned, that we do have a say. However, again, we should be mindful of or use wisdom, you know. Oh, let me just wrap it up and get to my segment of what would Jesus do, right? So we have been granted this opportunity to say, everybody come, yeah. Not everybody, but if they lift the restrictions, of course, more individuals who were not able to go to church before probably going to want to go now, right? So we still, if I go back to what would Jesus do in this situation, right? We have to use wisdom, right? Jesus would say some parable that has to do with wisdom. We have to use wisdom. So now that this idea just dropped in my mind, right? So now that we have the restriction lifted, for those people who have always been going to church, right? Since COVID, since the church was open back up during the pandemic, if you always been going, then maybe give somebody else a chance to go. So what the church would have to do is develop a group 1, group 2, or I love alphabets, so maybe you could be group A or group B, right? So this Sunday group A will come, and then the next Sunday group B could come, right? So that will take a little bit of organization and putting that on a spreadsheet and, you know, figuring who's going to be A and B. But that's a thought, right? Because if you have a church where a lot of people want to come out, and then if too many people come, you're gonna have to start turning people away, you know, and then people will get offended. I am not going back to church. I am not going back to this church. They shut the door on me. Oh man, people find all sort of reason not to go back to church, but they still go to work though, even though they hate their boss. Anyhow, that's probably another episode. Oh Lord Jesus, the reason people don't go to church. That's what I'm gonna do one on. That's a good one too. So anyways, I just want to wrap this up. Let me say, be safe, right? Still continue to wear your mask, continue to practice social distancing, and that's about it. Thanks for tuning in. I have another episode coming up soon, and you don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss it. Remember to be the light and make a positive difference in the world around you. Bye.